Welcome everyone to the What's Left podcast. John here with Jake and Brad. We are the Punk Rock Garage Band podcast, adding our voice to resistance as loudly as we can here on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Thank you to everyone for liking and subscribing. Welcome all the new subscriptions. Welcome to the nation. Love you guys. Good to see you out there. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. A lot to talk about today. I'm going to talk a little bit about uh, start with the Epstein survivors. We got to talk about the invasion of Minnesota, um, Greenland's possible upcoming invasion, Iran, Trump jokes about voting again, Supreme Court ruling on trans sports. We've got all kinds of stuff to talk about, so let's get to it and not waste too much time. We'll start here, though. I just want to say, finished listening to the Sasha Riley tapes today. Um, and it is just it's so hard to process it all. But I think like having had some time, I think what strikes me the most is that we talk about this, because there's international implications. There's this fucking president. There were these kids, children, locked in closets, threatened with guns. They saw death. They buried the only friends they ever knew. They never had an adult in the world to trust, and those that were lucky enough to survive, we still treat them with skepticism. They're still met with skepticism by so many people and dismissal. And somebody like Katie Johnson comes forward and then retracts it. Um, she says she's never been more scared of any person in her life like she is of Trump. She's scared to have him in the next room. And yet people still will like, oh, see, she's lying. That one's lying. And that's what the first thing they want to do. Like it's they work so hard to prove the guilt of the victim, instead of, just, investigating the guilt of the abuser, guys. And I don't know. It really is, and I feel like I got this a lot from the so many comments, from actual other survivors sharing stories, and the comment section was just overwhelming and beautiful. So thank you to all of you guys and gals who did that, and just it was it felt very special to see that, and just know that you're seen and heard here, and believed. And I don't know, it just we have to this whole thing is such a culture in this country to just blame victims. And it still happens even to this day.
The culture of blaming victims is why guys like Brock Turner get 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because why would you can't mess up his future? Well, he messed up his future and the future of the abused in that moment and has no accountability for it because the culture has allowed this. The culture continues to allow this to where like there's so many justifications instead of just believing the victim and holding the abuser accountable. That's the solution.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like a pretty simple solution, right, Jake?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe if we just actually listen to people and look into things that could be criminal activity when it's spoken. And if it's not, then it's not. And if it is, we got someone off the streets that is causing harm, you know?
Yeah, I still think that's what's so shocking is that like
Hmm.
just like the abject refusal. Well, you know, I don't
Right.
really look into that.
What else are you going to do all day at your job? Just sit there? You could take the time to look into these stories and actually figure out what's going on.
Again, this is just, it's a systemic problem. It's been around for years and years. I mean, there's just piles and piles of unsolved murders, especially of minority communities, like just decades worth. And it's always been a problem. And, it's the least, the most vulnerable are always the least important on these dockets. And they just get pushed aside and not believed. And here we are in the middle of fascism, and it's really not a surprise if you really read the history of where we've been. Um, Something else that struck me too is like listening to Katie Johnson, listening to Stasha Riley, listening to the different victims, and hearing how cohesive they are. Like, holy shit, are they like they tell the story of the same kind of monster? And I'm talking about Trump here. And I'm not saying there aren't other people here, but like the the monster that they describe is Trump, and it is consistent, right? And it's not just consistent. Like some of the stuff, like when Katie Johnson describes how just like Trump was such a racist and how like the way he would call everybody different slurs. Like she said that the way he spoke to Epstein was in an anti-Semitic way, like used anti-Semitic slurs toward him, like he was a subordinate, which kind of backs up what Sasha Riley was saying, where it kind of seems like the head of this snake was Trump, you know, and Epstein was more of a, I don't know, party planner.
Yeah,
Not,
he was basically a party planner for the stars.
yeah,
That's
and
what I described it as like, we all had that one friend that we'd always go over to their house
yeah,
because it was like the most fun house.
yeah,
Kind of how like he was. Like he had the island. So it was all go to the island, do all this shit.
yeah. Yeah, it's the parent who doesn't care what the
Mhm.
kids do, lets the kids drink in the basement, place where you can get away with stuff. And I mean that was it too. Like they were all getting away with something. Like just the way that Sasha described the parties. Like you're talking about, like not necessarily everybody was involved in the same kind of shit, but they were involved in everybody was involved in something. Everybody had something that they didn't want known about them, and this was where they let it out. It also described a lot of fighting, like grown men fighting. Like he described basically UFC before it was UFC. And so I also found that very striking too, because like with the ties between Dana White, the UFC, and the White House, I just it's so consistent is all I'm saying with like who he is to this fucking day. It uncanny. Like you can't, and with all the corroborating evidence, there's so many people doing so much great journalistic work out there, like finding these, like running down people, finding these, corroborating these documents. It's people like if you try to debunk this story, you're going to end up finding more evidence to corroborate it. It's one of the most, and yet even like the Midas Touch Network, which built their whole thing, being the only people talking about the Epstein files during the election, they're not picking this up. They've talked about Katie Johnson, but they won't talk about this one. This is at least as uh, reliable of testimony as that one. And I mean, to me, that's all reliable. But I mean, Jesus, like, how has this not been picked
You would
up?
you would think with them failing to release any more of the Epstein files that this added pressure would would further put pressure on them, and to bring this next story to light puts more pressure on them to expose the truth and the reality of what happened, because they are hiding it as long as they can. We're almost a month past due here, and we've
Hmm.
received 1% of them. And now this story about Sasha is more disgusting than I think some of us even predicted. I think that this is not what we expected. At least I didn't think that. I did not think we'd be talking about snuff films.
Hmm.
That was not, you know what I mean? I didn't think that would happen. Um, I didn't think that names like Jim Jordan would come out as quick as they did. You
Hmm.
think about who they're actually hiding by not releasing these files, and I think it's a lot deeper than we ever really thought.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, and you've got this. So a lot of these people are still alive, still out there. Les Wexner, like, should be like on the top of the subpoena list too. And like Comer is a fucking joke, right? The head of oversight in Congress is a fucking joke. But he subpoenaed the Clintons, and the Clintons gave this super long thing that was clear. That sounded like a Bill Clinton fucking convention speech. It was long as fuck, and it made a lot of good points, but none of them related to the idea that they have a fucking responsibility to say to the public what the fuck they know, even if it's very little. You know something. You know more than the average person knows about Jeffrey Epstein because you spent more time with Jeffrey Epstein than the average person. So at
Even
very least,
demanded transparency. Bill Clinton, when they released the 1% and there were pictures of him, he said, "Well, release them all unredacted. I want to see everything." Buddy, you're screaming for this. Come out here and talk to us.
Exactly, because they know goddamn. It's the same reason I think that like Hillary was so excited to run against. Well, not excited, but like that's why one of the reasons that it was good for them to run against each other because this was like, this is the the standoff. Everybody's got guns pointed at each other. Like, you really gonna fire? You ain't gonna shoot. And that's what Bill was like. Yeah, release the files. Release them. He didn't mean it. He
No,
knows because he knows goddamn well they're gonna do everything they can to not let this happen, and they are. And they are. Uh, Jake, we have I got a couple of quotes from the Sasha article that I think are relevant to the current situation with the occupation going on in Minnesota, and other parts of the country too. Like, we're going to talk about a lot of the ICE stuff that's been going on, a lot of the violence. But it's important to remember that like a lot of these stories are not just coming out of Minnesota. That's where the spotlight is currently, but they are still in California. They are still all over the country. They're in Louisiana. Um, A lot of them have been surged to Minnesota, but they're wherever they are creating violence. A system where the credibility of the victim is considered a criteria or requisite or prerequisite for pursuing justice is a fallacy. A system where the victim's credibility is demonized instead of the perpetrator's guilt rightly determined and punished in respect to and in honor of the victim is demonic. I state again, a system where the victim's credibility is demonized is demonic. And I like the use of that word because it is just that. Give me the other one, Jake, too. These are two just great quotes coming from the article. And then this is September 19th, 2025. Sasha and I conducted a meeting with House Oversight Committee Democrat Office aides upon their review of my documents. We expressed our extreme concerns that Trump and conspirators were attempting to escalate criminal activity globally, imminently. Well, that was a hell of a good read. Yes, it has been an incredible escalation over the past 30 days, even. We are talking about Cuba, Greenland, fucking everywhere, everywhere. We did the coup in Venezuela for no reason. Oh,
I
that
think we're
oil
gonna bomb
reason.
Iran. I don't know who we're gonna kill in Iran, but I know we're gonna drop some bombs.
Yeah, they want. Oh my God, that is one of the dumbest things. They're like, it's not regime change; it's a change of regime. That's the line they came up with. I swear to God, Senator Markwayne Mullins said it on television. That's their fucking line. It's not regime change; it's a change of regime. Like, tell me how the fuck that makes sense. The escalation everywhere. The Greenland thing too is such a big deal because like the United States is already pretty much over the way that we knew it. Like whatever we pick up, whatever's left, not to make a pun right here, but what's left of the United States is going to have to be reconstructed in a serious way. And if they, I mean, they're already fucking with NATO and the United Nations. If they actually invade a NATO country, though, that's a pretty big deal because that's the Europe has said they're going to stand by the treaty and defend Denmark, Greenland. So they've already got troops there and everything.
Yeah, the EU's sent multiple troops to Greenland, which is crazy. And I know that people are going to cheer for that. There will be people cheering in the streets if we disband NATO
Yeah, it's crazy.
because isolationism is what Trump wants. And his people are going to be like, hell yeah, dude, we don't need anyone else. We can do it all on our own.
They are literally nuts. 35% of this country is fucking boogers for brains. It's unfucking believable the things that they will cheer for. Jake, this one was so, I mean, this one is so ridiculous. Like Jake the other day, like when it first happened, was like, is this real? Asking me like, they can't possibly be actually doing this. But it is true.
It unfortunately is.
Yeah.
No fake news.
No, no, no.
Because Trump doesn't want, direct quote from Donnie, He does not want Russia as our neighbor. For a quick geographical reference, we are 53 miles from mainland Russia. 53 miles. Greenland is 1,200 miles from mainland USA. But Trump doesn't want him as our neighbor, so we have to take Greenland.
But
Right.
he's on great terms with Putin, though. He did make sure to say that too, though.
Great
We're on great
terms.
terms.
Why not? I mean, the new president of Venezuela is Putin's pick. They love each other. Uh, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Alaska actually sits in a small box just off to the side of the United States. So I don't know what you think about the location of Russia versus Alaska, but it's just not true. You probably didn't know that. But yeah, Greenland too, by the way, has been like the whole time, like we have a treaty, do what you need to. You need increase troops, do it. No big deal. They tried that shit today. They talked to JD Vance. God bless him. God bless him. What a fucking ordeal that must have been. But the United States insists that they need to uh, invade because Donald Trump doesn't like to rent. He likes to own. Uh, and that's, again, consistent with his fucking history of rape and dominance and just the way that he's described by all of his victims. Like, this is exactly who he is. And it just makes all of the other testimony from these Epstein victims so much more credible. Like, it needs to be more credible. But I mean, the way that he acts on an international stage only fucking corroborates, in a circumstantial way, certainly, but it's corroboration, no doubt. Um, so he also found time to joke about not having elections again this year, um, which is just not funny. But when it was pointed out to Caroline Levitt that that joke isn't all that great, she had something.
President Trump has talked twice in recent days, once at the Kennedy Center and then to Reuters again last night about canceling the election. Why is he talking about this?
I believe you're referring to the president's interview at Reuters last night. I was in that interview. It was a closed-door interview. Obviously, there was not audio or video. The president was simply joking. He was saying, we're doing such a great job. We're doing everything the American people thought. Maybe we should just keep rolling. But he was speaking facetiously.
You said that he was joking about canceling the elections, but Americans for generations have fought and died for democracy, for this democracy. Are you saying that the president finds the idea of canceling elections funny?
Andrew, were you in the room? No, you weren't. I was in the room. I heard the conversation, and only someone like you would take that so seriously and pose it as a question in that way.
Second, Caroline, next
Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, only you would take that seriously. You and every veteran, every civil rights leader, every suffragette.
they that's a real possibility because his numbers even on immigration now are abysmal, and that was like his shining star was immigration, and it's abysmal. Like there's no way that it's not blue. It doesn't, everything doesn't flip blue. And if he cancels them, his supporters will say, "Well, we need to see this through. We need to see it through. We got to give him a chance." I think it's right that we cancel elections in America so Donald Trump can have 4 years to ruin us instead of just two.
Yeah. It was June 6th, 1966, when James Meredith was shot three times in his single man march um, after the desegregation of the University of Mississippi for single man march to encourage people to utilize their voting rights. He was shot to death. He cared about those voting rights. That was not a joke. Um, Jake, President serious about this?
Of course he is. Because he's definitely not funny, so we can rule that one out.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure facetious is maybe one level uh thicker than that
He does it
man's.
all the time. He's testing the fucking waters.
Yep.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. It's like little test subjects. They throw these
Yeah.
ideas out, funny, haha, hee hee, and
Yeah.
then they see how his base responds to it.
Oh, he won't do that. Yeah, he fucking would.
Yes, he fucking would. All right. Let's so she had another freak out in the same press conference. And that was because this reporter lays out some basic facts. So we're going to listen to this, we're going to listen to her freak out, and then on the other side, we're going to talk about some of the just outright atrocities that have been committed by ICE in the past few days.
Just defending ICE agents. And earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 US citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my
Yeah.
opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat. But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country? I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
At least don't Nick Shirley.
Reality is bias because you're an idiot. But that would have been a great time for her to rebut him with, I don't know, statistical numbers of her own, because he simply presented statistics to her and she was pissed about it.
No, they did the MAGA thing instead. Here's a name of a person that happened. Here is a fucking anecdotal story that happened one time. Gas is $1.25 in bumfuck Idaho. So Trump is winning. The economy is great. That's how they make all of their arguments.
Oh, the economy's not great.
Oh, the economy is not great. Well, we'll get there. We got to get. Let's talk about this first, because ICE is not, unless ICE's job is to terrorize and injure and kill American citizens, they're not doing their job. Jake, you got the slideshow. So here's one. This is a child, a U.S. citizen. These fucking thugs, they beat, choked, mugged this kid, stole his cell phone, and sold it. It's yeah, here's the picture. In the doctor's office. He's a 10th grader. 10th grader. Put him in a chokehold at a restaurant supply store. Had his knee into his father's neck as well. They also, yeah, roughed up his father. They chased the pair through Houston, ramming the father and son's car in their unmarked vehicle, using their vehicle as a fucking weapon, which I thought, guys, was a fucking shootable offense, right? Just to be clear, that's the rules.
I thought so.
Okay. Filmed much of the altercation on the phone. He told him that he was a minor and a citizen, but that didn't stop them because, well, it's never stopped a Republican before. What's the last slide? Oh yeah, this is him in a neck brace. His mom took him to the hospital because his injuries showed that he had been choked. He was moved to trauma unit. They filed the police report, were met with skepticism, so they needed to provide a proof. That's when they found out that they had stolen his cell phone and sold it at one of those phone kiosks near the ICE facility.
I mean, one detained U.S. citizen is more than ICE has the right to do. And they're just beating the shit out of brown kids now. And people are just like, yep, it's cool because it's not happening to me.
Yeah.
Yep, we're watching it right now. Even if you don't care about undocumented immigrants at all, if you say fuck every immigrant, it's happening to American citizens now.
Yeah.
And they're missing it. They're just missing it. It's insanity to me.
Yeah. Well, the ACLU is suing the Trump administration over the racial profiling and unlawful arrests in Minnesota. So three citizens have sued Trump. So for those of you who are like, well, legals cost this costs more money. This shit costs more money. It costs money to keep these fucking thugs on the street. They're paying these people hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're giving them free college, which they have no capability to fucking take advantage of. Which so that's a fucking freebie for them. Uh, they're giving them bonuses, and they've got three plaintiffs in this case now who are suing. So that's more money that's going to cost the taxpayer. Um, you'll remember the 20-year-old Somalian person who was tackled outside of a restaurant, put in the back of ice car, driven miles away, and then let back out on the cold once they found out that he was legally there. Um, that was on his lunch break. So another one on December 10th, a person who was shoveling his parking space after leaving work when they approached him and his mother and asked his mother to remove her hijab and criticized them for speaking a foreign language. And then another John Doe was approached by four masked Border Patrol agents and CBP Commander Greg Bovino, asking if he was a citizen. And when he said that he did not need to answer, an angel tackled him, pinned him to the ground, and pressed his knee to Doe's neck. In Minnesota, where George Floyd was killed exactly that way.
I just don't get it. When did we're not free anymore. If anyone is under the illusion that we are free, it's a lie.
Yeah,
It's a lie.
for sure. This is the kind of shit that happens in China and Russia. And this is not the United States. Uh, this is not free speech. This is the opposite of all of that. Let me see. All right, here it is. So another one, 21-year-old protester Caden Rumler was shot in the face by ICE. Now he's blind for life. He almost died. Picture of him there. You can see his black eye. He had surgery to remove like a nickel-sized piece of plastic. It's also full of glass and metal. Narrowly missed his brain. He was because and this is because they're using weapons on U.S. citizens that they have no business using, which and again costs people a ton of money. Tear gas? Are you fucking kidding me? This is not like 1917. You're not in a fucking trench, inches away from the Germans. This isn't that.
Oh, these ICE agents think that they're at war. They're fighting for their life. That they got these guys gassed up, bro. I don't know what they think they're doing, but at this point, I don't even think they're like I see more of them like just working as like crowd control now, which is even less jurisdiction than they're supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, go do your jobs. I don't understand why you're in the streets doing crowd control when you're supposed to be working for immigration. Like, you can't say anything to me. Don't speak to me. What are you doing? Go do your job. Get away from me. Why are they allowed to do crowd control?
Yeah, they shouldn't be. Uh, yeah. Also, they threw a flashbang grenade into a car full of children, six kids, or it was tear gas again. I'm sorry. And the 6-month-old baby stopped breathing. Uh, they are out of control, overly violent, and we still have the Democratic opposition uh, is non-existent. It's just non-existent. Jake, you want to put up I got a list of some of the opposition. But Chuck Schumer and Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries, they want better training, guys. Better training. And Cory Booker wants body cams so that we can have more footage of things. I don't know. Why do we need body cams?
Yeah, we got JD Vance and Stephen Miller talking about absolute immunity, federal immunity. What do the body cams matter for, you idiots?
We have a video from 12 different angles of that shooting. And you want to talk to me about fucking body cams? That'll fix it. What did I do there? Something wrong. Mm, there it is. So, despite getting lots of praise for being very strong against ICE, now Mayor Jacob Fry says, I do not support abolishing ICE after telling them to get the fuck out. Backing down, and of course, Christian Nome jumped all over that and said, well, now he really needs to turn, it's good that he started to turn the volume, now he needs to continue to turn the volume down. And now they're just getting, just jumped all over that. Like it was like an admission of guilt to the right. And they just fucking loved this shit. You cannot give predators a fucking inch. Ask the victims of Donald Trump how it goes to acquiesce to a predator. It only enrages them more. That is the story that they tell. Go ahead, Jake. What else? What other? So these are on top of the fact that
Whoa.
they get paid by the same people like Palantir and Lockheed Martin that supply ICE with their equipment. Uh, Another memo leaked that Democratic lawmakers were getting advice not to advocate for abolishing ICE from two moderate think tanks, the Searchlight Institute and Third Way,
Yeah.
which is fucking Joe Manchin's goddamn thing, I think. Either way, like it's just a bunch of fucking mushy bullshit. You have polling that shows that the moderate position, moderates, are plus 10 on abolish ICE. That's the moderate position right now. And these fucking think tanks are who the Democrats are going to, the Democratic leadership is going to listen to. You've got a handful out there speaking the truth. And then you've got the people who are in charge of this party, though, listen to shit like this.
There's because they're trying to play middle of the road because the money keeps coming in if they can keep it all moving.
Yeah. Here's their official Twitter account, uh, the responding to Trump's threats to steal the election with a WTF. WTF? Like, do you not have? Are you not like a lawmaker? Are you not in charge of something? Uh, like Miss Pacchietti says, y'all tweeting WTF is actually gonna PMO. Are you all the opposition or are you all some feckless spectators? And Miss Pacchietti, spectators.
Spectators, Chucky's up there doing a whole lot of nothing right now.
Whole lot of fucking nothing. Oh my God. They're not properly trained. What part of training is going to prevent them from choking out a 10-year-old? It's
It's
not
insane.
training, Chuck.
It's insane when Thomas Massey is the one speaking out against Republicans and Chuck Schumer's just silent.
When you're getting out thought by a libertarian, you're not thinking. Okay? I promise you that. Libertarian is the absence of thought. And when you're getting out thought by a libertarian, you're not thinking anymore. Uh, I gotta say too, like with Schumer, like this man is so past his fucking prime and so over his skis. Every goddamn post that he makes, people are screaming at him now to resign. The way that I've been doing for so, it's so nice to have friends. I used to get yelled at. I used to get yelled at so much. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah, 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 fascism, blah, blah, blah. Why don't you be mad at Trump? I am mad at Trump. And that's why I have to be mad at Chuck Schumer too. Because there is no way in God's green earth that Chuck Schumer is going to ever oppose anything. He's just not capable of it. He is bought and sold. He is in that position because he's good at making money from corporations. There's zero chance that him and Trump do not have similar interests across the board. And it's verifiably true through opensecrets.com and any other one of these sources where you can find out who uh, sponsors who. So yeah. We got to move along real fast. They did find time to uh, fund Israel. Jake, gonna put that one up there? They always find time for Israel. So this House approved $3.3 billion worth of aid for Israel. The part that I really want to highlight, though, is at the bottom where it says the procurement, because I brought this up before, defense services, including, they got the wording that they wanted to. This is super important to them, research and development. Now, this allows them to use this money to prop up the AI bubble by buying AI technology, to blow it on some fake ass Golden Dome bullshit or whatever the fuck they want to. It is now a slush fund. They're no longer, they're like this frees this money up for them to spend it however they want, basically. If they want to buy a 2 trillion Big Macs and stuff it in a golden jet to get Trump to let them bomb Lebanon, they have it now. They have it now. They can do whatever the fuck they want with that money. Um, and you can't have healthcare.
Another thing I want you to notice is that it was 341 to 79, overwhelmingly bipartisan support to send our money to Israel. Pay
Overwhelmingly
attention to that.
bipartisan.
Overwhelmingly bipartisan to send our money to foreign countries.
It's much easier to tell you who didn't vote for it than who did. Uh, and it's the squad, basically. You know exactly who they are. The only
And these
people
are
who, the principal.
these are the people who said we couldn't find money for the SNAP funds,
Yes, that's
but we
correct.
found $3.3 billion to aid Israel.
Yeah, just a
Yes,
couple of,
for a country that has universal health care.
Yeah,
right.
right. Just wanted to make sure that got clear.
Absolutely.
Just a little cloudy.
Yeah, it gets a little skewed sometimes, but don't worry, the economy is booming. Growth like numbers you've never seen before.
Oh, let me tell you, brother, they love to talk about that. They love to talk about the growth. But if you want to talk about growth, the economy in 2025 accounted for the slowest job growth outside of the pandemic in 20 years.
Yeesh.
20 years when there was also a Republican in office. I'm not saying there's a trend. Maybe we'll just call it a pattern. However, slowest job growth since George W.
Mm.
And their inflation is still rising. And by definition, inflation does not mean go down. So anybody that say prices are lowering, the word inflation by definition means that's a false. We learned that Starbucks is like the second largest bank in the United States
Yeah.
because of the prepaid money that they load onto these cards. And coffee prices are up 20%. Please tell me that for the average American, even if you're just buying your coffee at home, 20% is a huge difference for the average American. Home buying at the lowest level in years. The lowest level in years. They talk about the interest rates. They aren't coming down enough for the normal person to purchase a home. It's why home buying is down. Because no matter what they do, as long as BlackRock is still buying single family homes, they're going to keep inflating the market. So all of you that are screaming about, oh, well, we're kicking all the immigrants out to make housing affordable. That's a lie, brother. That's just a flat out lie because you're not buying homes and the immigrants are being beaten in the streets, just like you wanted. No one's buying homes. They said the GDP rose in the third quarter, which is a true thing because everything is more expensive. So surprisingly enough, when things are more expensive, the GDP raises because things are more expensive. So even if I buy exactly what I bought last year, it's more expensive this year, in turn making the GDP higher than it was last year. They are, as we see revised numbers, we're seeing that in private job growth is abysmal. So not only did we lose 100,000 federal jobs, but the job growth in the private sector is terrible outside of farm payroll. Unemployment's at 4.4%. It's not getting better. Like there's not an economic factor for the average American that is better. If you're 72 years old and retiring, your 401k might be a little better than it was at the start of the year. I will grant that to you because 90% of the market is controlled by the 10%. So if you got in where the 10% are getting in, you're probably doing all right. However, for me and you and your neighbors, it doesn't look like that for us because the reality is nothing is getting cheaper. Again, the word inflation means prices go up. Until they tell me that there's deflation, prices are continuing to rise.
Yeah.
Sorry for rambling.
No, it's fine. If we have deflation, we've got bigger problems than that, which is why I say all the time, like the emphasis has to be on wages. Like you're never gonna get, they're never going to give up the profits they've already made. Starbucks can afford to pay its employees like $1 billion an hour. They have the money, okay? And if the barista makes more money, you'll make more money because that's how it works. The rising tide and yada yada yada. It's
Yeah.
just I mean it is. It's facts. It's facts. But y'all would rather just lick the fucking dog shit out of the crevices of billionaire boots in hopes of finding a penny instead of just demanding what is rightfully yours. Unbelievable.
No,
Jake?
billionaires earned it, John. They worked hard.
Oh, right.
They worked harder than that single mom working 2 jobs 6 days a week.
Silly fucking me. My bad. Yeah, the calluses on fucking Elon Musk's hands are, you know, broken back of Mark Zuckerberg. Jake, tell us what happened in the Supreme Court.
So the rolling is not looking good for trans athletes. I don't know if you're surprised. I'm not surprised.
No.
Arguments are all the same, just as bullshit. The same thing they do with everything else, and every journalist are just like, well, that's just not true, and that's just ain't right. They say that trans women have a advantage over other ones. There's so much rhetoric that they just spew, and it's just homophobia at its finest, you know what I mean? Transphobia, all the phobias, anything that's different. And I like the one guy like was walking around these people protesting it and is like, "Can you name 5 female athletes?" And they're like, "No." Because none of them actually care about women's sports until it comes to issues that has to do with something like the queer community. No one would bat an eyelash if they didn't know. And it's just the same thing. So West Virginia and Utah are the two biggest so far that are just like absolutely not, which we're not surprised. So it's not looking like they're going to be able to compete, which is sad because athletes are athletes. It's a huge billion-dollar corporation that I'm sure wouldn't care.
Yeah,
It's all a mess.
it is. I mean, there's like 10 NCAA trans athletes
Hmm.
total, you know? It's
Yeah.
fucking pathetic. And this whole idea too, like it's just like there was a woman who competed in the world's strongest man competition, right? And she placed third or
Hmm.
something like that. Or I mean, like so it's not like
Yeah, they're holding on to these one, like you said, these one stories. Like they would hurt the other players. They pulled a story there said this one kid got hurt. It was in high school. This was
yeah.
from high school, not pro athletes. High school.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, they got like their biggest claim to fame is this fucking loser Riley Gaines, who just,
Mm,
came in sixth place.
right. They're so scared by it. It's crazy.
It's wild how fucking the
Crazy.
the guy that we had one like a negative comment in on our last video. Some dude just freaked out. He was like, "I was fine until you started talking trash about all that trash about the transes." And like, buddy, you're missing like you are missing the forest for the trees here, Bao. There's not single fucking trans person on that list.
Hmm.
Not a one, right? There's a couple few white boys. I'm just saying.
That's
I'm
true.
just saying. Old, old Bubba and fucking old Bubba and Donnie sucking each other off or whatever.
Yeah. These women are women. Let them compete. They will not add any discourse to any of these games other than sportsmanship and athleticism,
Yeah, if
which is should be the whole basis of sports,
yeah,
celebrating athleticism.
right. Yeah, it's just it's such a stupid thing to get so worked up about, but that's the world we live in. All right, we are way over on time. We gotta cut it, take a break. When we come back, we're gonna lighten the load of the week like we always do. Share some FYP page from our TikToks, and we'll start with a little taste test before we go to break. And remember, as we get closer and closer to being monetized, you may hear ads during our show. We don't get, we don't support any of those companies. Fuck them. Don't buy their product unless you need it. Uh, you know, fuck corporations and billionaires and Fuck Christy, no. We'll be back. Welcome back. What's up, podcast? John, Jake, and Brad, Punk Rock Garage Band podcast on the Derealization Nation Media Network. Like and subscribe if you haven't done it already. Thanks to everyone who has and for pushing us out into the algorithm. We can't do this without you. So thanks for being here, guys. It's time to lighten the load a bit. Time to take a look and see what's on everyone's FYP. And we're going to start with this one.
You know what they say.
Oh, shit. That's great. You know,
Yeah. I can't wait for Taco Bell, dude.
is that where you're headed after this one?
Oh, yeah.
Little TB?
No, I got 2 months left.
Oh, yeah. So, oh, good for you. Is this one yours too?
No, it's mine.
All right.
All right. This was not how I wanted to spend my last days. For sure. What the hell is that? A little bondage?
Fuck.
Oof. Jake, what's happening in your world, brother?
Is everything okay? Oh my God. What
No
the-
contact. It's so good.
None.
I would describe my dating history as checkered. I've been married twice, but I always say 2 marriages can happen to anybody. So my name is Joyce Carlisle. Oh, I hate being single. I hate it. I'm so lonely. A lot of these men that you get set up with are bald,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. You should date me because I am the most fun you will ever have with a legal secretary. I love to talk about horoscopes, even though I don't really know anything about them other than my own. Oh, I want my next relationship to be forever. And I really mean that because I cannot get divorced a third time. I will not get divorced a third time. I love Mexican food, especially enchiladas. I love Jamaican men. They love their mothers. They're always very close with their family. They are not afraid to get in the kitchen and make a warm, cozy meal, and they love to dance. Well, I think the key to a good relationship is picking somebody who likes you. My favorite way to unwind, I love to draw a bath, buy some roses and pick off the petals, and I'll pretend that a man has done that for me. And I'll imagine that there's a man in there who's just outside the door saying, Joyce, you better not get pruny. I'm waiting.
Yo, the 80s were the craziest time.
I want to be her best friend.
I knew you would. As soon as I saw
I
this.
love her. She's so pure.
Those shoulder pads are extreme, dude. The 80s were crazy.
The pads
Pretending
and the
someone made it
perm.
for her. Pretend a man drew it for me. No, I don't get it.
Oh
The
my
Alpha
God.
Points are a federal agency.
All right.
The nastiest peak is where I'm hiding, waiting for them to serve their no-knock warrant.
Now you're all caught up.
Thank you.
It's topical. It's topical.
You can't park there, bud! Can't park there, bud.
Ice versus ice has been one of the best things on the internet.
That did. Yeah.
I'm usually not hip to trends in the on the internet, but that one I'm right there with. Oh shit, I know that's Brad.
I'm just saying, man, bring it back.
Bring it back every now and again.
Just let me, you know what I mean? I just want to see one.
Yeah. I mean, it's the sauce, really.
Yeah.
I got that motherfucking triple decker toasted PB&J. That motherfucking triple decker toasted PB&J. Triple decker.
I bet my pinky fingers that was Jake.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. All right, last one, and it's me.
Oh my God.
Want to write a letter to President Clinton? Would he answer us? I bet he would.
I bet he would too.
I have
Oh,
one more. Where's my horse one?
Oh, well, here she is.
Yarn, gay boy. Yarn. Fly, gay boy. Fly. Don't be afraid to bottom, gay boy. Be one with the wind, gay boy.
Oh my God.
There's one for everyone.
that was a majestic fucking horse.
Oh my God.
I actually hate horses.
Uh, yeah. Well, Christy Gnome loves them.
Another reason just to hate them.
She loves to ride them. Her fucking demon husk. All right. Tell, tell us what's good, Brad, and tell us what you're doing.
Today we had a snow day, my friend, and ain't nothing better than an adult snow day. Long weekend for MLK Day on Monday. Spending it with the kiddos. The wife has to work. Eli does not have to wrestle this weekend, so we get a weekend off. I don't think I have to do anything Saturday, and I've never been more excited about having to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to clean out my garage, and I've never looked forward to that more, ever. My garage is crazy right now.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's just one of the things about getting a little bit older. It's like I do look forward to like not doing anything,
Yeah,
especially
it's exciting.
it's exquisite and a luxury in this country that very few ever find. For
Yes.
sure. All right, Jake, what do you got?
Harry Styles dropped his next album, gonna be released March 6th. Um, I am seeing my friend from Boston. She's coming to Ohio, so I'll be there this weekend. I'm so freaking excited. And that's about it.
Nice. Nice. Well, we are either going bowling or we're going to the other putt-putt place tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about that. Should be a good time. Me and the girl barely get any like actual time to spend together. That's not like we work at the same place, but like that doesn't really count because we're both working. So yeah, it's pretty good. Little date night. Put on the nice clothes. Put on a pair of real pants. Go out and do a little thing. Uh, I don't know. It should be a good time. Might check out the other. There's like two indoor putt-putt courses here, and I'll probably go to the other one this time. It's a little bit fancier, as upscale as indoor putt-putt gets.
I love some putt-putt though. Indoor places are so much fun, the black lights and all that fun stuff.
I know. Go ahead and get her a Diet Coke. It's our anniversary. Oh shit. All right, guys. Well, thanks for a good week. Um, thanks to everybody out there. Thank you for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, pushing us out into the algorithm because God knows stuff like this just doesn't get out there on its own. So if we're out there, it's you. Um, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, especially Threads. That's where you'll find the most updates. Um, and you can also buy a t-shirt at therealizationnation.com to help support the cause. We have the optional Substack paid subscription, but all of our work is and always will be free because it's important to get this information out there and in a way that isn't biased by MSNBC or Fox News or whatever. So until next time, I'm John.
Jake.
And I'm Brad.
And that's what's left.
Homegrown domestic terrorists cosplaying as federal agents are a greater threat than any immigrant.